All right, what's up, you guys? I'm like looking for some reason looking at the phone this way, but the camera's right here. I don't know. So I've been going through my computer over here when I was doing the kitchen, as you guys have probably seen me say in the last quite a few videos now. I was recording a lot of stuff, and I had a lot of stuff recorded at the time. Not all of it was great, you know. So some of the stuff I've like sifted through and deleted or whatever. But I found like a couple random folders where I had like uploaded stuff and not even realized it. So this video here today is actually a cook with me that I was trying to do. And I was trying to do steak on a cast iron skillet. My mom got us the skillet like 2 or 3 years ago, I think, for Christmas or something like that. And we've never really used it. Like, I tried to make steak on it once. As of me recording this today, I've done it a couple times, but this was only my second time in this video doing it. And I thought I had a solid way. The first time didn't really turn out that great, but it wasn't terrible. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna, try it again. I'll do a cook with me video, and it ended up turning out terrible. So, ironically though, the video doesn't make it look that bad. Like, it looks pretty legit. It looks really good. But I can assure you, like, it was nasty. Like, it was flavorless. The outside was too done and the inside was literally raw. Like, it wasn't a nice happy medium. Like, it was horrible. So yeah, I'm going to redo this video soon, because now we've kind of perfected how we make steaks in the cast iron skillet, and it's pretty dang good. I still prefer it in the grill, like, period. Like, it doesn't even come close, but it's still delicious in the cast iron skillet. But our grill is kind of like down for the count. Like, the whole inside of it's like rusty and it needs like new grates and it flares up real bad and stuff. So kind of need a new grill, and it's not really like on our bucket list of, things we need to buy right now. So, we make do with what we got, and the cast iron skillet's actually pretty good. But in this video, you're gonna see me totally mess it up, and it sucked. So I just thought it would kind of be a funny video to upload still. So don't follow what I did in this video. Don't use this as a reference of how to cook. Yeah, so hopefully you guys enjoy. If not, I thought it was kind of funny. But alright, enjoy. Alright, so we are back from Kroger. Gotta have a good drink. This stuff is my favorite. I used to drink IBC root beer. I don't buy pop too much in the house, but IBC used to be my favorite, and then Kroger had this stuff on sale one day and they were out of IBC, so I got some of this and I'm in love with it. It's so much better. So we got garlic. I like these potatoes the best, these petite reds. They're just little tiny ones. I like cutting them in half and just throwing some salt and pepper on them or whatever and eating them. And then for steaks, I don't have too bad a luck at Kroger with just getting the cheap stuff. Got these bad boys. A lot of good marbling in there, a lot of fat. I don't really eat like the gristle and all that stuff. I think it's nasty, but there's just so much more flavor when you get a good cut that's got that in there. But I usually get all our steaks at Kroger. I never really have a problem with them. We've never really had any bad steaks there. $7, well, $8 for this. It's massive. I got big hands, and this is bigger than my hand. It's just the beef chuck boneless blade steak. It's not top of the line. It's not, expensive. It's not fancy. You got two of them. One's a little bit bigger. But yeah. I mean, we usually get like a New York strip or like a T-bone or something. But balling on a budget right now, so we got the ones that are a fraction of the price. But potatoes, just boil them in a pot. Like normal. I leave the skins on these. These are good. Garlic, I'm gonna throw it right in the pan. I have done a cast iron steak once. And we've got this, luckily, pretty big one, so this is gonna actually fit. I'm just not a fan of this thing. Like, it's so much work. Like, you gotta oil it and keep it clean, but not wet, because it'll rust, and if it rusts, then you gotta do this, and all kinds of weird stuff. So, I've never really been a big fan of it, but usually we grill out. Grilling's my thing. Yeah, like I said, she's at work, so I'm gonna kind of experiment now with mine, and I'll kind of know like how I can tweak it to make it a little bit better. When she gets off work, I'll make hers. Can't really cook a bad steak as long as you don't cook it well done. So gotta have some pink in the middle. I like a lot of pink, but you know, I don't like it raw. So basically all you need with this is some olive oil, sea salt, butter, and garlic, or some people put like sage in the pan and stuff like that. We don't do that. I've never been big on that. And then we have this seasoning that my mom makes. It's got like salt, pepper, like onion powder, garlic powder. It's got like nothing special, but just the way she makes it up. We love putting it on like all our meats. That's, you know, we just put it in like an old spice shaker or whatever. Always some fresh ground pepper. But so this thing says basically let the steak rest for quite a while. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and just throw it on a paper plate here. Plop it on there, take the little preservative pack off or whatever. And basically just kind of let it rest. I want to pat it dry too, get all that, you know, liquid and whatnot off there. Yuck. Need a good dry steak. Well, dry on the outside. The inside, when I make them on the grill, they are juicy as hell, and you could take a spoon and rip the thing apart. It's so good. And I'm just going to let it sit like that for maybe a half hour or so. Alright, so what I usually do when I'm grilling these is, you know, I cover them with just kind of basically pat it with olive oil, and then generously douse it with the sea salt, and, you know, even some of the 1300 stuff my mom calls it. Both sides, and then I throw it on a hot grill, leave it for about 4.5, 5 minutes, then flip it, do it about 4 more minutes, and then, you know, that's it. So cast iron is a little bit different. They say you want the pan smoking hot, so you leave the steak dry and you want the pan smoking hot. So I guess we just let that get super hot, and then back over here, just kind of going by the book here, but so it looks real good, nice and thick. Not too thick though. I don't like mine super thick because then it just makes them hard to cook. You know, you get a really nice kind of layer on the outside, and then on the inside it's like raw. I like a lot of red on the inside, but I don't like it raw, if that makes sense. Place it on the stove and sprinkle lightly but evenly with about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of salt. When pan is smoking hot, so about, it says 5 to 8 minutes. Let steak sizzle for it. See, this doesn't even say to put any kind of like olive oil in it. So I'm going to still put a little bit of olive oil in there because that's going to kind of help crisp up the outside a little bit. One thing I hate about, you know, when I read, right now like I'm reading about the boiling, you know, those little red potatoes. All I want is a simple recipe, like how long do you throw them in? You know, do you season them or anything first? And it's just like a life story about how these little red gourmet potatoes are just a life changer. I don't need any of this. Boom, right here. Instructions. Put the potatoes in a medium-sized saucepan and boil them with water. Potatoes are in. It says once it starts boiling, about 15 minutes, so I don't know if I should put this in here or not. Ooh. Alright. Almost grabbed that. That is a big no-no. Another reason I'm not big on cast iron is because you can't grab the dang thing. You gotta... Alright, so that is definitely hot. Now we're going to take the steak and somehow lay it in here without burning ourselves. Just a massive steak. So this is extremely loud, but it smells amazing. We'll go ahead and cut the garlic open real quick. Alrighty, so now it says about this point to flip it. Yeah, that does look good. Throw some butter on there. That's another thing I see a lot of people do too, is they incorporate butter in with their steak, and you've never really done it. I'll tell you one thing, this is making a big greasy mess. Don't laugh at my oven mitt. My girlfriend definitely picked that out. Just rub that around, I guess. And what's different, what kind of throws me off too, is when I do them on the grill, like, you only flip them one time, that's it. And I believe doing them like this, you flip it a couple times. Got that nice crust on the outside, but still soft. I am anxious to try this. Ooh. Well. Okay, so steak in a cast iron pan. Absolute fail for me. That sucked. That was literally the worst steak I have ever had in my life. Like, it was horrible. Like, I can't even say, like, well, you know, it wasn't terrible. Like, no, it was absolutely horrible. Temperature checked out great, so I pulled it off. You know, I let it sit. And when I first cut it, which, hey, quit. When I first cut it open, I'm like, wow, this is kind of tough. Like, the outer shell was like, you know, it had a really thick outer shell on it. And when I started to cut it, I'm like, okay, you know, maybe I got the wrong knife, whatever. But it was just like thick outer shell, you know, like a crust, cooked nicely, raw. The whole middle just, I mean, not just, you know, a little bit undercooked, just straight raw, which was nasty. The crust, there was no flavor at all. Like the garlic, I couldn't taste any garlic. I couldn't taste any salt. It was just like a flavorless crust. It didn't even taste like steak. It's just, ugh. I didn't like it. So yeah, cast iron steaks for me are a no-go. Maybe I'll find another use for it for something else one day, but as of now, it's gonna rest. That's also annoying too, like the amount of effort it takes to cook in it, you know, get it ready to cook in. And you'll say like you might have messed up and there's a little bit of rust on it. You gotta like re-prep the whole thing